Hello everyone and welcome back to Naturally Hooked Crochet, Curls, and Cocktails. If you're new to my channel, then welcome to you for the first time. Today is our second video in our crochet tutorial series for beginners. And what we're going to do today is to learn how to do a chain stitch. Or a foundation chain, sometimes you'll see it called. And so what we will do to get started is that we will start with a slip. Easiest way that I know to make a slip knot would be to simply make a loop with your yarn. You're going to put two fingers through your thumb and index finger, grab the working yarn, which is the side of the yarn closest to the ball of yarn, and you're going to pull through. We call this side of the yarn that's dangling here the tail end of the yarn. And so once you have that, you'll take your crochet hook and insert it into the yarn and pull it tight. Not so tight that you can't move the hook through the yarn, but not too loose either. So you want to have sort of a Goldilocks effects of not too tight and not too loose, just right. So once you have your loop on the yarn, you're going to grab the tail end with your fingers over here. And then for the working side of the yarn, you're going to just wrap that around your index finger, and that will help you to control the tightness and the tension of the yarn on your hook, so you can decide how loose or how tight you want your crochet to be. So now that we've taken care of that portion, what we want to do is to hold the knot that you just made with your thumb and your middle finger like that. And then you're going to start working your chains. When you start, we're going to yarn over. When you see that written in a pattern, yarn over basically means you're going to pull the yarn from behind the hook and over the front of the hook like this. And then you want to pull it through that loop that you just made on your chain like that. And that is going to count as one chain. So you don't actually count that first loop that you made as a chain when you're looking at a pattern. So your pattern calls for 10 chains. You don't start counting until you actually do something with your hook. So actually that very first yarn over and pull through is going to be your first chain. So we're just going to do that again. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull that through the second loop. So now we have 2 chains on the hook. Let's do that again. Yarn over and chain again. That's 3. Yarn over and chain again. Yarn over and chain again. Yarn over. And we'll just keep doing that. You'll see once you start doing this, it'll get easier as you practice and more uniform. You can see that these are very uniform chains, but when you first start, it is going to be, you're going to have some loose chains, you're going to have some tight chains. And so what I would suggest is that you actually practice this until you feel comfortable with it before you actually start your first project, so that you can get your chains more uniform. So if you look at this chain, you'll actually see that on the front, you see these that look like little V's that go down. So if you lose track of counting as you're stitching, you can actually just count like this one: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 8 chain stitches on the hook. And if you turn this over, you actually see on the back side of the chain, it actually just looks like little bumps, but you could still count the bumps and then see how many chains you have on the hook. The other thing you should know is that the chain that's actually still on the hook does not count as a chain. So you wouldn't count this as 9 until you do this, and then that would be the 9th chain on your hook. So the most important thing I can say with learning how to crochet and learning how to chain, because the chain is really the start of almost every crochet project that you're going to do, is to really try to get very comfortable with it and practice until you feel comfortable. Now, you don't need to take a week or longer than that to practice a crochet chain, but you just want to keep doing it. I usually, when I started, I think I did it while I was watching television. So you can just do it while you're doing other things until you kind of get the hang of it and feel like you have done it well enough that you can practice and have a good looking chain on your hook. Again, it's really important in terms of tension. You don't want to chain too tightly because you won't be able to later on get your crochet hook into the chain so easily, and that'll just make the rest of your project much harder. And you don't want to do it too loosely either, because then that leaves you with sort of a bad structure on your chain, a very loose, very sloppy looking work. So you want to, again, practice that Goldilocks effect and sort of have a not too tight, not too loose set of chains on your hook before you begin your crochet project. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and in our next video we will show you one of the most common stitches, which will be the single crochet stitch. So thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you want to see more crochet videos from us, or if you want to see more cocktail videos or videos about curly hair. See you soon.